Hello, I'm Keith Dyer, editor of The Mobile Network, and I'm delighted to say that I'm here on the Samsung Networks booth at Mobile World Congress 2025, and we're going to catch up with some of the developments Samsung has been making to enable it to meet its customer demands. I'm joined by Pickens, hello.
Hello.
And by Kiran Tharanath.
Hello.
Hi. Kaylee, let's get into it then. I think a lot of our viewers will know Samsung really well for its open vRAN and the work you've been doing there. Maybe you could just bring us up to speed on some of what you've been doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been along our vRAN journey since 2017, where we first softwareized the VCU. And then quickly in 2020, we had softwareized both the VCU and the VDU, and we're starting mass deployments with Verizon across the US. So we've been along this journey for many years and have quickly grown our customer base, and we have now the single vendor with the world's largest vRAN deployments across the world, across Europe, Asia, and North America. And last year we announced that we had more than 38,000 vRAN sites deployed, and by the end of 2025, we're happy to report that we will have more than 53,000 vRAN sites deployed. One of the biggest things that we see as a benefit for our operator customers is the optionality as it comes to Open RAN. And so with the optionality, it's important for us to make sure that we have options for all of our customers at every layer of the network. And so one of the things that we have announced is that we are continuing to grow and foster that ecosystem. We have an ecosystem right now of over 30 partners, and at the CPU level alone, it's not just dependent on Intel anymore. We've actually gone through and validated AMD's latest CPU and processor, and so that's just another development of us showing our customers that it doesn't, whatever option you want to use, whichever vendor you want to use, Samsung is ready to support you along your journey.
So you look at that growth in Open RAN with your customers, and you mentioned a couple of the big customers that you're looking for. What do you think operators now are looking for from Open RAN vendors to enable them to take that step forward?
For us, it's always been a question around the interoperability, the integration, and that's the reason why we believe the ecosystem is so important. If you can pre-validate and pre-integrate these solutions early on and get it to about 80% by the time the customer is ready to deploy in their labs, it's a much easier process for our operator customers. And so I think overcoming that hurdle and making sure that you have close-knit relationships not only with your technology vendors and partners, but then also understanding your customer's vision, that's what's really going to help operators completely realize the true benefits of Open RAN and to kind of take that first step.
Okay, and what do you think you'll do next in Open RAN at a customer level or even in the technology?
Yeah, so we believe, AI is a big focus at the show, and we believe that in order for operators to take advantage of AI today, they need to have a foundation that supports that transition, and we believe that foundation is a fully softwareized end-to-end software-based network. With a software-based network, you have the opportunity to layer AI on top of that. And so we're already seeing operators who have large vRAN deployments take advantage of that today. So for example, Verizon, we worked with them along with Qualcomm to validate our AI Energy Savings Manager RAP on top of Qualcomm's RIC, so that we could help them improve energy savings within their network. And in their commercial network, Verizon reported that they were seeing savings of a gain of up to 15%. So we're already seeing real world applications of those operators who were first to market in that vRAN.
So if you look at what you're doing in the AI around the RIC, do you see that you're going to be working with more partners, both other RIC partners and Samsung as a RIC with other RAP vendors?
Yeah, absolutely. Our whole goal is to be open, and we're very customer centric, right? We are probably the most open vendor out there. And so we are looking at ways to validate our apps with other RICs and other apps with our RIC. We made an announcement last year that we were already working with other RAP companies like Viavi and Capgemini, and so our goal is to just be ready for our customers in whatever avenue or venue they want to take it.
So Kiran, if I could turn to you now, you head up the Samsung Networks private networks department, and I was thinking that possibly it's not a business area everyone would be fully aware of, so maybe just bring us up to speed with what you've been doing in recent developments.
Sure. This year we have actually focused on software-centric network for our private enterprise customers. So what I mean by that is we have a completely software-based network that covers the entire spectrum of RAN, core and applications that all go into a single server. Having the single server in our customer enterprise networks can help them scale the network to their needs, and beyond that we can also add more CPUs and GPUs to ensure that we can even add AI on top of that. And we have been working with our customer Hyundai Motor Company in Korea, which has one of the single most largest automotive manufacturing plant that is in Korea. And that can actually produce more than 6,000 vehicles per day. And we've been working with them since the last year to deploy private 5G network in their premises. And what we have been doing with them is to deploy a reduced capacity terminals which can do vehicle inspection. And with our private network in that industry, we're able to do different tests and use cases with our customer with Hyundai. Yeah.
So what's the benefit of the RedCap terminals that you mentioned, particularly in that private environment?
That's a good question. Actually, RedCap technology helps us have a wide range of applications in the private enterprise customers that we have. And as you know, we need to have a large battery life for our end terminals, and RedCap enables having the large battery life and has a lot of use cases that can be deployed in our customer premises. And with Hyundai, what we did was we were able to deploy an end-to-end network which covered a RAN, core, RedCap terminals that included sensors, cameras, robots, and tools to make sure that the entire manufacturing process were under this private network. We can improve this efficiency and scalability of our solutions with Hyundai.
So RedCap's obviously a new feature set within the 3GPP standard, so it's good to see that you found the use case for that there.
Definitely, that's industry first, if I may quote that here. We had the industry first and it was successfully tested. And with Hyundai being our strong partner and with the successful test that we had in Korea, we plan to expand it to much more enterprises or much more industries, as well as Hyundai's other plants across the world as well.
So can I ask you as well about, you talked about that single server integration RAN core. Did you have to redesign the core to specifically for that sort of edge deployment, or is it Samsung's fully featured core?
That's a good question, because that's the beauty of software-centric networks, right? Because when you have a software-centric deployment, we can actually scale the software to match different needs. We have the large-scale software that goes into macro customers, as Kelly mentioned, Verizon and so on, but we can easily scale the software to go into single server, which can have reduced capacity because you have much less number of users with enterprise compared to macro network, right? So that's the beauty of the software, and we use the same software to provide different use cases for different applications.
Okay, great. And just, Kaylee was talking about the vRAN and the software RAN capabilities there. Presumably you can leverage that in the enterprise space as well.
Definitely,
and the Open RAN.
Definitely. All the features, openness and all the features from our macro network and experience can be leveraged to deploy cost-efficient and scalable network for enterprise as well.
Okay, good. So just let's look forward a little bit as we finish. What do you think the AI piece will come to mean for Samsung? What is it going to increasingly dominate through your Open RAN and those other deployments you have?
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned, we're already seeing some of those AI benefits with Verizon today, but we're hoping to continue to see innovation in the next year. As we continue to further validate how some of these CPUs and GPUs can work in the system, we'll be able to identify which applications make the most sense for our customers to help them achieve their goals, whether it's cutting down OpEx, improving overall network reliability, or improving the UE experience. We hope to see some of those advancements come to fruition within the next year.
So what do you think we'll see Samsung Private Networks do through the rest of this year?
Yeah, you can actually see us expanding our portfolio. So we are actually working with different partners, as she mentioned, to enhance the application, the use cases. We'll start with our partners in Korea, and based on the successful references, we are going to expand our private network business across the globe. And we'll start with Hyundai Motor Company, and we are also in active discussion with other partners to deploy private networks across various verticals and various use cases across our global customer list.
Okay, well, we'll look out for that. Thank you both very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the time.